Hello ladies and gentlemen, now we head into the AMA number 4. If you didn't know about it, check out the YamatoCannon subreddit. You also have the possibility to ask questions on the subreddit or also on the newly created Discord channel where we discuss and hopefully it will flourish into a small neat community with the coolest people. So if you consider yourself as cool, then you join this Discord, and if you're even cooler, you join the subreddit and the Discord, and then you are connected with everything that is gonna be going on. We're gonna host some competitions that I'm gonna mention later in this video. Everyone's welcome to join. Today, I'm gonna be honest, I'm feeling quite tired, didn't sleep too well. That's why I might look a bit tired, but all good. Time for your questions. Egalva1 asks, Mr. Yamato, imagine if you could build your dream roster with current players, language and money not being an issue, and you can pick and choose from any region. Who is your top jungle, mid, bot and support? Thank you. So let's just go, imagine you're gearing up your mage, you're playing World of Warcraft Classic, you want to play duels against the best of the best. You're gonna get best in slot, because right now we don't care about language, we're just gonna get the best players ever. We start off the Shy in the top lane. Had a rough series against FPX, but we don't care. Still, in my eyes, the best top laner mechanically. No one comes close. Very intelligent player. Just had a rough series. Maybe when he saw Baolan perform, he just broke down. Happens. FPX is a great team. Whatever. Next one, we continue. Just because we have to go with the recency bias, obviously I don't want to take away too much from the Massey Cup and Casper Cup, but I'm gonna gun for my boy Tian and Crisp. They are just too insane. I know RNG won and Africa won these small tournaments, but Tian and Crisp performance at the World Championship was just magnifique. So I'm going to continue down that line, the way they control the map. Tian, his synergy together with Doinby, and how everyone could rely on him to fake pressure and then to strike at the right times, building visions, being there on tempo together with the right people on the map was just sublime. Perfect jungling, honestly. Most of the time it was hard to find ways to criticize Tian. When it came to Crisp, the support position at the highest level turns into a very, very risk-heavy role, because you want to build visions, find flanks, you want to find these ganks, abusing fog of war. It's very natural for supports to get caught having this mindset. It happens a lot with Mickey, happens a lot with Hiri-san. This is the line that you have to thread in order to be as effective as possible as a support. And I think in terms of decision making, Crisp was phenomenal during the World Championship, because he was occasionally getting caught with trash, but it didn't impact the map that much because he died at good timings and he put down wards. If we remove that from the equation, the amount of times he put down wards, when in theory he shouldn't be allowed to, but he figured out a way to do it anyway, it is very, very worth it. So love Crisp. We continue. AD carry, I would go with Deft. I think he's one of the best and can be in contention of being the best AD carry in the world. Deft has such a wealth of experience playing different styles within his team. We had the KT roster with Smeb. There's been rosters where everything is around Deft. He's had the EDG roster with Pawn. A lot of variety. Sure, you could consider taking someone like Uzi, fantastic player, but he hasn't had that much of a variety in terms of what his rosters have given to him. Most RNG rosters realize that, okay, they try to be different, they try to be unique, but all roads lead to Rome. Playing through Uzi just gave you the highest win ratio. And I don't blame them. But I think just because we have the Shy in the top lane, I think the Deft is easier to slot in because of him playing together with someone like Smeb when Smeb was smurfing 2018. Mid lane, now that's a tricky one, right? It's like, I picked Tian and Crisp. How good, how big part of that is Doinby, Doinby individually, I don't think he's the most crazy player, right? But in terms of what he provides for his teammates and how everything flows, it is difficult not to rate that highly. And I already got Deft and the Shy on the roster. If I can get through that early game, It's going to be juicy regardless. Another person, you know, if you want to go strictly on individual skill, I would put Rookie up there, because Rookie, honestly, what Rookie managed to accomplish with a jungler playing around him was just revolutionary. Ning and Rookie together, that 2v2, I've never seen a 2v2 that good. Rookie together with a jungler that knows how to play around mid lane, that could rival a lot of things. But this is just, you know, I'm putting things out of my ass. I'm not thinking about personality traits, I'm not thinking about a lot of details. I'm just thinking about what players in each role that I like and enjoy the most. So this is my roster. Firestorm Cold asks, do you consider doing streams where you talk about drafts like LS does currently with Casper Cup? Short answer, yes. Long answer, yes, very much. Anesthesia says, hi. New to the subreddit after watching AMB number 3. Good job. Just wanted to ask, would you ever consider moving to a career in shoutcasting, broadcast, analyst, table? I'm always hyped when I see you there as a guest. Larger than 3. I've considered it many times, many times, and it is one of the doors that I'm currently knocking on, maybe figuring it out. But as long as things are not, you know, set in stone, I'm not going to make the claim that it's gonna happen 100%. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'll join a team, maybe I won't. Who knows? Face to Phase, that's a tongue twister, asks, what is tempo in League and why is it important? So tempo in League is the idea of being at the right place at the right time, together with your teammates. Tempo means understanding that the moment you press B and recall, you are going to be dead for 8 seconds. So theoretically, when you base and recall, you are currently putting your team 4v5 on the map when you base. Let's say you're preparing for a dragon, being 5 seconds ahead of your enemy in terms of tempo, and taking that mid wave and then taking the dragon space is going to put you at a massive advantage, because you're going to have the vision for the fight, you're going to have the space for the fight. This is why tempo is so important. Let's say you based and swapped, you caught the enemy off guard, they have the top laner in the wrong position, they have the enemy bot lane in the wrong position, they're managing the wave wrong. Let's say they're freezing bottom while you're pushing and you're hitting the tower already. This is a massive gain of tempo. So it's all about just being on time and figuring out ways to constantly maintain tempo. Sometimes you have to take a step back, but ideally, to maintain tempo, you want to do it when waves are in a perfect position, meaning you push them all the way and then you're basing together, so you don't base one by one, because this is usually in pro play the biggest cause of loss of tempo. But tempo is a very big topic. I hope I gave some little teaser for what tempo is and why it is important. Tyrexel asks a lot of questions, honestly. I'm going to just answer this specific one. How would you go about getting hired as an analyst if you had to start from scratch in another body? Honestly, I think the easiest way, which is not an easy way at all, is to create a body of work. Think that you're already working for a team. Try to become useful for that team. Meaning, let's pretend you work for G2 and let's say you're preparing for their next match. You are creating an analytical piece on G2 and on the enemy team and what you can abuse, and then you can just post it. And then maybe you'll get discovered, maybe you won't, or you need to put yourself out there, you know, you need to advertise yourself. So it's all about just put yourself in the mind of the teams, make yourself as useful as possible, and then you get picked up. Don't be too overbearing and annoying. Like, don't go to Grabs now and write 50 million messages to him, because that has happened to me, where people just write to me, look at this, look at this, look at this. What you can do is offer your services for free, find that experience, and then you continue. The first years of esports are always the most painful, because that's the time where you're not going to make any money. So this is something you just have to fight through, and you need to ask yourself if it's correct for you. And sometimes people get luckier, sometimes people get references. It helps to have contacts. In scratching another body that is complete random, I would just do as much work as possible, push it out, push it out, push it out. Mr. Apple Killer asks, did you watch any YouTube or any specific VODs to heighten your understanding of the fundamentals of League? I think the easiest way is to just look at the best. Look at the best teams, look at the best players. They are pioneers in the space. They are still exploring. the way of playing the game because it's constantly changing. Usually the best are the best know what they're doing. It's like FPX at the World Championship, what were they doing in terms of the fundamentals? Because I think the way I would summarize FPX are the ones that they were the team that had the most disciplined approach to the fundamentals. G2 is a tough team to learn from, especially at the World Championship, because they had a lot of cocktail situations. They also had a lot of moments of brilliance. Those moments of brilliance, still a lot to take away from. They were breaking the routine of what people consider standard. Follow-up question: what exactly are the fundamentals? So to me, the fundamentals are the basics, meaning a fundamental rule is if you can play through mid, you should play through mid. It is the central lane. If you can get prior through mid lane, you're going to achieve much more than having prior through bottom or top. That is a fundamental rule that is always going to be applied and is always going to be true. Sometimes you're not going to be able to do it because champions change, and sometimes it is wrong to pursue it just because of the variables that you have in the game. Meaning champions always change, team compositions always change, gold always change, leads always change, right? So these are variables that always need to be included in your calculation of what comes next. If you can look to pressure into the enemy jungle and you win 2v2 with mid and you can pressure into bottom, then you should do it. A fundamental rule could be 1-3-1. The person that is 1 and is being played away from is the person with TP. Most of the time this is true, unless, for example, maybe he's so freaking weak that you can't even accomplish anything and you need to play around your strong laner. This could be a reason to change the rule. The basics are like things that work 90% of the time. XP Emerald asks, how do you think coaching could be progressed in League? I think a major benefit would be getting qualification made by Riot or some agency so that a model of good practice can be formed. And also having players coach similar to youth sports. Any thoughts? Thanks. So I would be very careful with education and creating some kind of an institute that puts coaches through a system. I think at this point in time, in order to progress coaching, is just give more opportunities to coaches, meaning create more competitive environments. And that could be youth sports, that could be, collegiate sports, that could be regional leagues as we have now. And then eventually you will rise through the ranks and the right people will be discovered. It is a very tricky scene to navigate, because I understand the issue of not having like the specific qualifications, nothing to go by. Oh, this guy has a master's in league coaching. Now all of a sudden, his value goes up. Nothing like this exists, because I think creating it would just be so unorganic at this point in time. With time, I think more and more coaches are coming in, even in different games, more and more coaches are coming in, and eventually there will be like a large pool of coaches with a lot of experience, because we don't know how long League is going to be around. Coaching is something that is definitely transferable between games. Maybe some of these old school coaches, maybe I would be able to host a class or something where you can have some credibility off of some higher learning or higher education. But for now, I think it's all about just experience and getting yourself out there and progressing in such fashion. And I think we're on a good path. Sletia Linetia 69 asks, Dear Yamato, what would be your advice for people starting out in national leagues? So I'm not sure if your question is how to get to national leagues, or if you're like, oh, next week I'm playing my first match in national league, I'm starting practice. I'm just gonna assume you are starting out in a national league. If you have aspirations to, walk forward, to climb the ladder and to become better and better in any walk of life that is a team thing, meaning like if you're working in an environment that, you're working on a project with 6 people, you're relying on 5 others to execute. The same way in league, you're relying on other people to execute because you can't do everything by yourself. In lower level leagues, sometimes players can feel that they are not surrounded by players with a like-minded work ethic or like-minded goals, and this can be very frustrating. And something that I can promise you is most of the time true. If you work really hard, eventually you'll reach a point in your career where you're surrounded by like-minded individuals. When you're in a team, you need to look at what you can do and how you can improve yourself. Look at every day as an opportunity to grow. Look at every day as a challenge. Never ever waste a day, because tomorrow or even today could be the first step to greatness. It is a choice. Becoming the best player and joining the LEC and continuing on to the World Championship and so forth, it is brick by brick. It is hard work every single day. The best player is the one that is the best mechanically, has the best game knowledge, communicates well, and is also a great teammate. And these are all things that you can practice and do better. And being a great teammate is something that sometimes people forget, which is silly because the situation you're in is unbelievably team dependent. So if you can do something that improves your teammate and makes him better, and if you learn how to communicate things properly or help people out in need, then all of a sudden your value also increases. Starting out in National League, I'm assuming your goal is even higher. So just remember what got you there and build onto that. Best of luck to you. Wolfzy asks, do you have an opinion on the discussion whether esports teams are profitable or are a good investment? I wouldn't say that I'm an expert in this field, but I know that esports can be very profitable if we figure out how to activate fans, whether it's through in-game advertisement, meaning something that Fortnite did. They put stormtroopers in the game, they put Thanos in the game. A wonderful way to cross two worlds, because there's so many eyes on the game, eyes inside of the game. This is something that League could do. Maybe we have advertising in the game. That could be huge. I think the issue is that I think Riot Games naturally they're using the game to advertise their own skins and advertise their own game. And I think they need to kind of step away from this to definitely activate the amount of money that teams can make in terms of advertising, because in the end, advertising, that's where the money is at. The big advantage esports has is the amount of eyes that is on it, the viewership, and I don't think it's been thoroughly activated. Another thing that Thorin mentioned in terms of activating and putting more money into it is creating fan clubs. No teams have fan clubs, and I didn't even consider the idea before Thorin mentioned it, so I'm giving all credit to him. But having fan clubs is a big deal, and it's something that is a part of the Korean esports culture, and this is something that all teams all over the world could definitely benefit from. But just monetization needs to improve. Memes. I love memes. Do you love memes? Can you create fantastic memes? I'm going to host a meme competition on my Discord on the YamatoCannon subreddit, where we will judge your memes, and then the best meme, the person that created it, is going to get a wonderful reward. I don't know if it's wonderful, maybe I'm setting myself too high. Nevertheless, the reward is individual coaching from yours truly. We're going to have 2 competitions, so if you're an insane meme creator, you can win the Discord one and the subreddit one. You can also participate in the judging, meaning you upvote good memes, you downvote bad memes. So we're just gonna host this meme competition and see where it goes. The winner gets coaching, meaning I will review one of your games and they will have maybe a call if you have any questions. Everything is going to be done on stream. So if you are shy and you don't want to be scrutinized is the wrong word. I'm not a bad guy. I'm going to be nice to you. Don't worry. It's all about your improvement. I'm not going to do it to demolish your self-esteem. So just check it out. There's gonna be a pin thread on the Reddit. On the Discord channel, there's also like a little channel where you can post them. Please do it. And that's it for your questions. If your questions were not answered, please post them again. Join the weekly AMA by throwing in your question. Join the meme competition, please. Make it league related or whatever. I love great memes. I'll know if you stole them from somewhere. Don't steal people's memes. With that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.